Good evening. How is everybody? Hopefully everybody's doing good. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. Of course. Where am I? Get on. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Hello, everybody. Hello, TF. How you doing? How are you doing? I saw the ladies were in, ready to go for tonight. I'm a little late. Sorry about that. I had to run to the store and it was kind of unexpected. And then I was trying to print out my notes for tonight's live, and it like printed off the first page, and then I was like, okay. And then it printed off like the last page, and I was like, well, I need the middle. So, well, thank you, Missy. I appreciate that. She said I look beautiful today. Thank you. I decided just to pull up my hair because it was a little bit easier than dealing with it. And this heat wave that we're having, I don't know if it's hot where you guys are, but it's pretty warm here. I mean, it's not probably near the temperatures like it is out like west or down south, but it's been pretty hot. So it's nice to keep the hair up off the shoulders. As I'm going to put my banner and stuff up. I kind of forgot to do that before I came on. And if you guys don't, if you guys wouldn't mind to hit the like button, we'll go ahead and we'll get started with tonight's live. So did you guys watch any of the press conferences that were out today over the Long Island serial LISK? I guess we could call them LISK. We have Hawaii weather here in SoCal. I bet it's hot there. I don't know well, it's drier there though, so that's not too bad. So it's only like in the 70s today. So it was actually the 80s today. So it wasn't too bad, but like I said, compared to other places, it's just the humidity. The humidity. If the live doesn't start, I just talked to my friends. Brooklyn said, that's cute. Oh, I don't know your email, Brooklyn. Nancy wanted me to pass off her information to you. And I was like, oh, I don't have her email. I forgot she sent me an email last night asking me that. And I just remembered when I saw Brooklyn's name, it reminded me. So I'll have to get your email because I was like, I don't have her email. It's kind of like I need like a little book full of emails now. I don't mind, but I did anyways. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We are going to talk about Long Island serial killer tonight. Gilgo Beach. I don't even know what name we're going to go for. There's like so many names going out there with this guy, but Rex Heuermann. Yeah, he gives me the creeps too. He's a hell of a man. He's a big man. I wonder how big he is. I wonder if we could find his mugshot, if it would show it, like his height, weight. I'm just curious because he's a big dude. I couldn't imagine being one of these girls, you don't know who you're going to get when, you work in that kind of a trade, but I'm assuming that most of the guys don't look like that. Like he was huge. Like maybe that's why his name was Rex, for T-Rex. I heard he's over 6 foot. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I'm thinking like 6'7". Brooklyn said, I bet 6'5" to 6'7". Yeah, me too. I bet he's taller than any of the officers. And it's like, my brother's 6'4", and he looks taller than my brother. He looks like ogre-like so big. I think my brother's like 6'3", 6'4". We're a tall family. We're a tall family here. If you didn't know that about me. I'm not that tall. I'm 5'8", but still pretty tall for a girl. I don't know what I'm doing. I was about to put the music back on for us and shut down the live, I guess. I don't know where I was at on my screen. That's funny. I was going to show you guys some pictures. And I saw some other stuff. I've been seeing like some little case updates. So we might have to do like a live where we just cover like multiple cases. Because I saw that there was a few like just little case updates here and there today. So I have a lot of windows open on my computer. Might take me just a minute to find the pictures. Here we go. This was him today in court. I mean, like he towers over these guys. He's a biggin. Yeah, Lori, he's an ogre. He's big. He's really big. I was like, I mean, I don't even know. Like, I wonder what his wife's thinking too. I was reading an article about her today, and they're saying that, she had no idea and all this. I'm just wondering what she's thinking. He looks like he's thinking, holy shit, what have I got myself into? They want to make sure he wasn't getting out of them cuffs, apparently, because they got him shackled with like a key ring, like a key thing, like a locker lock. Now I'm wondering if they have 2 sets of handcuffs on him, but it doesn't look like it. Normally they'll put 2 sets of handcuffs on somebody when they're that big, I mean, just like, so they have the extra, like a little bit of room. But what if they thought he was so strong, if they had 2 on, he could just like break him open? Like, he looks tough. He looks really tough. Isn't that sweet? Thanks, Lori. Big scary blue eyes crying said, yeah, for sure. Very, very, very scary looking guy to me. And then we got a side profile of him. He looks like he's like scowling, kind of. He's not giving the Brian Koberger vibes, that's for sure. He's giving me a little bit scary. Now, he's 59, so he would have been like 46. Could you imagine, you're going through life 13 years after the fact. He wasn't really going through life well, though, because, I mean, his Google searches say it all. Like, he was Googling, have they caught the Long Island serial killer? Are they going to catch him? I mean, he was just really Googling the terms that he wanted. He was trying to figure it out. But I just couldn't imagine, you eat some pizza at work one day, leave the pizza box in the trash, and then you leave work one day and you're just walking down New York City in the hustle and bustle. And all of a sudden you're surrounded by cops. Like, I couldn't even imagine. And good thing I'm not like that. Cheryl Boy says, I wish I was taller. Hey, Carolina Moon. I like your name. Aw, you're from Brittany's channel. Oh, good. Thank you for coming over. I was over there today on her backup channel. Well, she said she's not going to call it that anymore. So I have to stop saying that. I watched a little bit of her live, and then I took a nap. I took a little bit of a nap. So Ashley, no, I'm glad you're here. Okay, well, how's my boo thing? I haven't asked you in a while, and I've been thinking about you. What's going on? Well, we love you, Ashley. But I hope boo thing's doing okay. I was just worried about her the other day. I was thinking of her yesterday. I was like, wait a minute, I haven't asked Ashley about my boo thing in a while. But we're here for you, Ashley. We're here for you, girl. You know that. You can tell us anything to you. I mean, don't tell us anything because, there's people in the chat, but you know what I mean. You can tell us anything that you need to. And we're here for you. That's what we do here. I was going to show you some pictures of this guy here, I believe is his attorney. Let me triple check on that. Yeah. So I'm assuming that he bought the guy. I don't know. I don't know if he has any money or if his wife has the money right now. I don't really know how that works. When supposedly, allegedly, you unalive 4, maybe more people, women, men, people, more people. Do you if you have a joint checking account and bank account, you might as well just say, you better get yourself a public defender since she's divorcing you. Like, if that was me and Vincent, like, let's say it was me and Vincent and we were married, we had a joint account and he went to jail for this and I was out of there, I didn't believe him because, I would believe him, but let's say he did it. I wouldn't give him no money for an attorney. I was like, sorry. So let me know what you guys would do. I mean, she's already been bamboozled by the secret dungeon in her home, So I'd be like, good luck. Good luck. What I miss? I'm missing everything good. What's going on? What happened? Oh, you got your rainbow arm glow bug? Oh, I didn't notice that. I have to look over here. Oh, that's so awesome. I love that. That means you've been a member for more than for 6 months. I love that. That's really awesome. That is so awesome. I love that. I love the rainbow one. I'm excited that we did the rainbow for the 6 months. And Vincent was like, I'm going to have to make a year one now. And I'm like, I know, right? We'll have to figure out a different color. We'll have to have it really shimmery or something. This is his attorney, this guy. Yeah, you probably got it when you came into the live. Isabel switched in the live last night. It did switch in the live last night, Isabel, because I was like, I know that her arm was gold. And then Vincent was like, it was gold because he watched the live last night. He said it turned in the middle of it. I was like, it's so cool. Because for a while it was just, summer. And Miss Linda hasn't been in the chat for a while. So, and I think a couple other Phantasmatic Ether, but she hasn't really been in the chat for a while. So it was, it's nice to see the rainbow arms. Look at that. And then the gold ones. Oh, I love it. Makes me so happy. Let's see. I'll show you the prosecutor next. So this is the prosecutor. This is the guy that's going to be, or the DA, prosecutor. And he'll be trying the case. And then I got a picture of his mom and his sister, or his daughter. I'm sorry, his mom and his daughter. And it looks like they're entering back into the home with what looks like maybe his attorney, or no, that's not his attorney. Maybe that's just an officer with a bald head too. Because it doesn't really look like him now that I'm looking at him closer up. But I don't want to judge anybody. I really don't want to judge anybody. But how is she not dying in that outfit? She is wearing a scarf and a sweater that is like thick and pants that are thick in this heat. Like, just because you put more layers on doesn't mean you're hiding yourself. Like, put a hood on or a mask, but she's going to die out there in that heat. She's going to die. Like, really, that's hot. It's hot. So hot. Oh, did I should put something in there? Let me see. Who's okay? You got COVID? Is that still a thing? Because, like, I know that sounds stupid, but really, though, because I heard that in someone else's chat that they got COVID. And I literally was like, oh, and I don't mean to, like, put your broadcaster business out there, but I'm just like, I didn't know that was like, that's stupid of me, but, I didn't know. That's so crazy. To shuttle a vehicle and they literally got shot. Oh my gosh, Ashley. No, there was a higher being. Oh my Lord. He got, no. Because God wouldn't do that to me right now, because he would know, he knows that your friend is going to pull through. He's stronger. We're going to say stronger and boo thing, and we all need you. So if that would happen to you, I'm about to cry thinking about that. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. And you got COVID. Oh my Lordy. When it rains, it pours on you, girl. Well, we love you. We love you. You're not late, not too late. She'll come in. Am I late? You're not late. No. I was going to read over some of my notes for you guys. Let me see. Throw my glasses on here. Because, I can't read without my glasses right now. They've been helping me so much. You didn't know it was either, Ashley? Okay, then I don't feel so bad. No, I really didn't think that it was still like around. I thought that COVID kind of like died off. Man. And then, who would shoot somebody just driving a bus of kids to go and kayak or camp? Do you guys know who it was? Let me know if you need any help. I'll put a whole live together, girlfriend. That's crazy. Oh my Lord. Like my hands are shaking. I hope you're okay. Oh, Summer said, she said, hey, y'all, just got home from work. Ashley Higgins, I just saw your comment. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And it's not your fault at all. I love you. We all do. And it's not. That's just like, that's a higher power. That's a higher power right there, girlfriend. When stuff like that happens, you weren't supposed to be there. And maybe, maybe there's a reason for that. A guy backed up and hit Shaggy, and Shaggy got out of the truck, and the guy shot him in the chest. He's not doing okay at all. Oh my God. Do you think Ashley Higgins, that guy maybe, oh my Lord, but do you think that he meant to do what he did, but do you think he did it because he didn't have his license or something petty, or didn't have insurance, or just something so stinking stupid and petty? I'm praying for Shaggy. And I love that name. Yeah, we're here. My email, Ashley, if you need me for anything. Let me know. We'll broadcast anything, or we'll be there. We'll do what we got to do. That's insanity. Let us know about Shaggy too. Like, keep us updated. Let us know if there's anything we can do for him, his family. Oh my God. And yeah, let us know if there's anything we can do for your, anything we can do. Whatever you need us to do. Just email me or whatever you need to do, honey. Oh my Lord. That's crazy. Well, there's never a dull moment when we're in this chat, you know that? If it's not something with me, it's like one of you guys will have like, it's just something, but it's usually me. You guys are usually all okay. So the accused Gilgo Beach serial killer was in court today, and his next court hearing is going to be September 27th. And some important notes from the prosecuting attorney, and we're going to watch the press conferences. Ray Turney and Rex Heuermann's attorney. The DA stated they've given Rex Heuermann's lawyer at least 8 terabytes of material, equivalent to about 2,500 pages of records, along with about 100 hours of surveillance video recorded outside Heuermann's home and office prior to his July 13th arrest. So they're just now so this hearing today was for discovery. He's already pleaded. He already pleaded in an arraignment. Not guilty. We all kind of knew he would do that. So now this was his second court date. Thank you, Summer, for gifting out memberships. And look at that. Cheryl got herself a membership. And Sweet and Sleuthy. And TF, look at all that. Everyone's in here. And Lori. Well, looky there. I love that. He also stated that more evidence will be turned over on a rolling basis. This kind of evidence sharing, called discovery, is routine in criminal cases and is intended to help ensure a fair trial. And it says, we were talking about 13 years of investigation. It's a massive amount of material. Heuerman did not speak at the hearing. Prosecutors and Heuerman's attorney, Michael Brown, also reached a confidentiality agreement that prohibits sharing copies of the evidence with the public. So we won't have that yet. Some of the evidence includes sensitive photographs of the women's remains as they were found, and I'm cool with, I don't need those. Wrapped in burlap and buried in thick underbrush on a barrier island off of Long Island's southern coast. His lawyer said Heuerman is denying committing the crimes. And he said, the press has convicted my client without seeing a shred of evidence. He told reporters after the hearing, he's just suggesting that prosecutors very well could have the wrong guy. Rex's attorney confirmed that he received the first wave of evidence, 5 manila envelopes, each containing a 2 terabyte hard drive, and that he has yet to review any evidence collected in the investigation. Today was the first time I was handed any evidence in this case, and it was in the form of terabytes. So 2 terabytes he got. Brian Kohlberger's defense attorney's got 51 terabytes. So good luck with that. That's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. That's a lot to go through. I'm going to read this article here for you guys. It's just about Rex's wife. Hold on once. Hey, Noodlebug. Hey, Jessica. Hey, everybody coming in. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Roseanne. I missed some people. I'm sorry. But if I missed you, I'm sorry. And hello, Therese. Is it Therese or Therese? Like you have to tell me that. I don't know, but I love it. Either way. Either way. Where the heck is Sarah Pickles been? We need her in here. I want to know about the Taylor Swift concert still. I'm like, I haven't seen her in here in a while. And she went to the concert with her daughter. It was funny because her daughter was like upset with her or something. And I was like, you're taking her to see Taylor Swift this weekend. She'll be fine. Oh, that was pretty funny. Bug, is that a raccoon? That sure is. That's funny. So I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures, and I'll show them to you, of the inside of Rex Heuermann's home. They release the home back to the family, I'm assuming, because the wife's the one that took the pictures. So, and I have something to say about that too. So I heard that his wife took pictures of the inside of the house from what the officers had done. To me, it doesn't look like it's bad. It looks like almost, they said the house was completely and utterly cluttered, and it just looks completely and utterly cluttered still. It doesn't look like things are thrown about like normally when police go through stuff. They just throw everything, rip stuff up. Doesn't look like the TV shows anyway. It literally just looks like they stack stuff back up. Maybe it wasn't in their particular order, because people that hoard things and have a lot of stuff like that, they have a particular order normally. But she's asking the public for privacy. And I was saying that yesterday. I was like, we all should give her privacy. Like, that's really hard, and stuff of that nature, because it is. I couldn't imagine. But now she's taking pictures of the house and she's posting them online of what the cops did inside the house. And it's just like, I'm missing something here, because you're bringing the spotlight onto yourself by posting these pictures. If it was her that posted them, and that's what it looks like. And I'm just like real confused about that. Yeah, well, the tub is trashed and the pot outside. So Jan, was that hole in the tub already there, or did the cops put the hole in the tub? Because I'm going to show you guys in a minute what I'm talking about. It was so crazy, like that there was like a hole in the tub. Because I'm like, what could be right there? Unless they were going for the piping. But why this many years later? I don't know. Just very crazy. Very, very. No way, Therese, no way. Okay, I gotcha. Was that the wife or daughter all bundled up? That was the daughter. That's all bundled up. And every picture I've seen her, she's wearing a big heavy sweater. And I'm like, it's August right now. Like, I would be done. So they did arrest Carly, and they're going to press some more charges on her, I guess. So we're going to be doing another live on Carly. I heard that we heard it in the press conference. The officer said he was going to go after her and make sure that there was laws changed, if not. And then I saw today that they still want to press some charges on her. So I think they're going to. So here it says, and if you're just now joining us, we are talking about, Long Island serial killer, allegedly Rex Heuermann. We're going over the first thing I wanted to go over, like this part, is about his wife. It's just, the title is Wife of Gilgo Beach Serial Killer Suspect and her attorney open up about the family's experience since Rex Heuermann's arrest. So we'll read through it. And it's from CNN. The wife of, it looks like Elizabeth Wolf and Jessica Exing wrote it. The wife of Gilgo Beach serial killer suspect Rex Heuermann and her attorney told CNN she had no idea about her husband's alleged actions, and the flood of public attention has been extremely overwhelming for the mother and her two children. The days since Heuermann's arrest have been chaotic for his wife, Asia Ellerup, and the couple's children, as investigators have scorned every crevice of the family's New York home, and the property has been swarmed by media and curious onlookers. Ellerup's attorney, Bob Macedonio, said on CNN Primetime on Monday night, Ellerup doesn't have a bed to sleep in, she told the New York Post on Monday. My children cried themselves to sleep, she said. I had three cats. Litter boxes were strewn about, thrown on top of everything. My pictures were thrown all over the place, Ellerup told the Post. My couch was completely shredded. I'm just going to say this. Sorry for her, but her husband may have killed four. We know, well, there's DNA evidence. So we're going to say not three. We're going to put four in there, because I'm putting her in too. Because I feel like even though he's the prime suspect in one, the DNA is the same. DNA just doesn't come about on a dead body, So I feel like her house is going to be destroyed. Don't do stuff that you shouldn't do, I guess. Heuermann appeared in court Tuesday in handcuffs, wearing khaki pants and a gray suit jacket. Complying with the discovery request in the case, prosecutors handed over evidence to Heuermann's attorneys, including hard drives and disks that included 2,500 pages of documents, DNA and autopsy reports of the victims, surveillance information and notes, and photographs from the medical examiner. There is a massive amount of material and information from the investigation to turn over, and prosecutors will continue handling over evidence on a rolling basis, Suffolk County District Attorney Raven Turney told reporters after court on Tuesday. The judge issued a protective order prohibiting the release of copies of case evidence and scheduled another court hearing for September 27th. The hearing comes 3 weeks after Heuerman was arrested and charged with murder in the killing of 3 of the Gilgo Four, a group of women whose remains were found along a short stretch of Long Island Gilgo Beach in 2010. He has pleaded not guilty in the killings of Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Lynn Castillo. I did not know this. His court-appointed attorney, Michael Brown, I guess so, does have a court-appointed attorney, said Heuerman told him. Family members of some of the victims were in court on Tuesday. Turney said during the news conference, victims' families are all supporting prosecutors' efforts and are interested and engaged with the case. But none of them come up and none of them talk. Heuerman, 59, is also the prime suspect in the disappearance and killing of a 4th victim, according to bail application from prosecutors, but has yet to be charged in that case. Brown, Heuerman's defense attorney, said outside the court on Tuesday his client is innocent and looks forward to his day in court. They always say that. The press has convicted my client without seeing a shred of evidence. We're not going to try it in the press. We will defend this case in a court of law. His wife describes weeks since Heuerman's arrest. After her husband's arrest, Asia filed for divorce from Heuerman, to whom she had been married for 27 years, and returned to the family home, which her attorney said had been torn up by investigators. 27 years. That's a long time to be with someone and not know. You know? Oh, thanks, Summer. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh. Ashley, he used a hollow point. What the is wrong with people? Oh my Lord. And he shot him in the chest. But surgery, another surgery tomorrow, that's a good sign. That's a they might not be able to remove. Hopefully they wake him up after this surgery, or he's awake right now and he can move his piggies and his thingies. Just make sure that's what we gotta pray for, his safety. Pray for that. Secondly, alive, can move his toes and wiggle his fingers. Then we'll, figure it out from there. That's so sad. Brooklyn said, I'm sure his wife, I thought you said his wife was cheating at first. I was like, I don't think she was, but I'm sure his wife knew he was cheating, but I don't think she knew he was killing people. Yeah. Sickos like this usually have a double life. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking that she might have knew something was like up with him. Like he liked he had like weird fetishes. Maybe he went to the city when she thought maybe to do something like that. But I don't think she thought this was going on. That's terrifying. It says investigators uncovered quite a lot of evidence as they spent more than a week poring over the suspect's home. In addition to collecting a massive amount of material, including about 279 weapons, they also used a backhoe and a ground-penetrating radar to search the yard. The family is still taking stock of what items have been taken by investigators. They're never going to know. You know what I mean? She said that she didn't go down to that room, that bunker room. How are they going to know what was taken if they never went into the room? If it was locked up? Everything in the house has been turned upside down, he added. Dresser drawers were emptied out. The bathroom tub, which was a vinyl tub, was actually cut open. The floors were ripped up. The couches and the mattresses have been removed. Due to piles of debris left by authorities, the family barely had any walking space to get into the house. We did get another chair out from the basement and upstairs to me and so me and my son can sit and talk. He's so distraught and doesn't understand, and as a mother, I have no answers for him. You didn't need to go to the basement and grab a chair. You could have sat on the floor to talk to your son. I'm sorry. That's mean, but her son needs her. You know what I mean? Like, don't be like, and her son has, their kid has I don't know exactly what's wrong, but there's some sort of mental defect. And he's probably going through, like, I couldn't even imagine what his little brain is trying to like compute right now with his father and his mother. But you know what I mean? You just move that stuff out of the way and you make a spot and you be with your family. I'm nosy. If there's a locked room in my house, I'd want to know what's in it. Me too, Isabel. I would too. I'd be like, what you got in there? What's going on? I'll be bringing down desserts and stuff. You need a beer? You need a cake? Anything? It says, but I said we're together. Okay, there she is. There she is. I should have just read more. And that's really what matters now. That you and me are sitting here together and we will get through this. That's really sweet. I shouldn't have been so harsh. See, she told me. CNN has reached out to the Suffolk County Police Department and New York State Police Department for comment. Authorities have said Ellerup and the children were out of town when the killings occurred. Now Ellerup is requesting privacy as the family grapples with their new reality. I'm pleading with you all to give us space so we can regain some normalcy in our neighborhood, the wife said in a statement to CNN. The spotlight on the family has attracted onlookers who show up at the home just to get a glimpse of what's going on at the house. Ellerup has been in touch with Heuerman since his arrest, the attorney said. He did not provide any further details. The wife and children have also received support, including from the daughter of serial killer Keith Hunter Jasperson, the so-called happy face killer. I know exactly who they're talking about. The daughter too. Oh, wow. She reached out to him. It's been extremely overwhelming for her and the children trying to piece life back together to what it was 2.5 weeks ago. I don't know if they're ever going to return to normalcy, but day by day, she's getting better. 2 weeks and day by day, she's getting better. What the hell you mean? I would be a mess. I'd be a mess for years. What do you mean I don't like this article now that I'm reading it. I didn't read this one before I came on. I'm like, I don't like this one now that I'm reading it. Like, no, you need to heal. Like, it's going to take a lot more than a couple days, a couple weeks. Like, she can't. I mean, her house isn't even back to normal in a couple weeks. That's crazy to even think that. That's just really sad. That's like, maybe that's wishful thinking, you know. Authorities are actively investigating whether Heuerman may have had more alleged victims. Suffolk County Police Deputy Commissioner Anthony Carter previously told CNN. Investigators have looked into properties Heuerman owns in South Carolina and Nevada. I don't think any of us ever anticipated going that far and looking at any missing person or any murders that may have occurred along the eastern seaboard. Though attorneys have been looking into possible link between Heuerman and the 2006 unsolved killings of 4 sex workers near Atlantic City, they said that he wasn't related to them today, I believe. It just says right here. New Jersey Suffolk County Police said Monday that they now believe Heuerman is not connected to those cases. So yeah, I heard that too, that he wasn't connected. Oh, very strange. Let me see. Do you not have an air conditioner, Cheryl? You need an air conditioner. Oh, your apartment is probably the cutest, Cheryl. Vincent and I, our first apartment was that small. And it was quaint and it was really cute. And I wish we would have stayed there a little longer just because it was like, I don't know, it was fun when we were there. We were young and in love. We still are in love. Just kidding. Okay, so these are the pictures. They're kind of on a video, but I'm going to play it and then kind of just pause it so you guys can look. So, like, this is the kitchen area. Like, I wish we had before pictures because I bet you this is what it looked like before. Looks like somebody's purse is right here on the counter. They forgot their purse. Don't want to go anywhere without your bag. Oh, wait, she probably just sat it there because she got home. Never mind. His wife took these. I forgot. Let me see if it'll say. I swear that that's who's been saying that took these. Like, to me, this looks like just like a room full of clutter. Now, this I don't understand. Someone's got to explain this one, though, to me. Why would you cut the tub? Like, why would... I'm really confused on this picture. Are those trophies? What are those things in the box? What's in this box? This looks like a medicine or something. I don't even know what that is. I should look better. That's exactly what it looks like almost. Okay, you know what it almost looks like? It almost looks like that they took boxes into each like room and then they were just taking stuff out and put them in the boxes. You know what I mean? To see what was in there to like move stuff around. Which I'm surprised they didn't throw crap on the ground because it's cops. You think to get to the drain pipes? I thought too, but it's like, it's a weird spot. You'd think they just take the whole damn tub out. And they didn't even go like do this drain in the middle of the floor. Yeah, show. I know. Yeah. Like, yeah. You know, if I was her, I'd put this house up for sale. I would. And I would move. I wouldn't want to be in the neighborhood. The people didn't like them in the neighborhood anyway. You know, like. And like this. Look at all these boxes. Like, I mean, I don't understand. Like, was this stuff all in pristine spots? I don't think so. I just don't. I just don't. Look at all that dust right there. It looks like on this table. Like, That's been like that for a long time. They just had a lot of stuff. They lived in that house, you know, and then it just like repeats itself. But hoarder. I'm having anxiety looking at it. Hey, Tiffany. I'm like literally having anxiety looking at it. Like, oh my gosh. I redid my kitchen today. I should show you guys some pictures. I'm not done yet. I'm not even near done. I just did the counters tops, but I didn't even do I just like moved some stuff around today, but I felt so much better. If you ever need like a refresh in your life, refresh your kitchen. Start with your kitchen or refresh your bathroom. I swear it makes a big difference. Just move, like you can even keep the same stuff you have. Like just switch your bathroom stuff around. Like if you have 2 bathrooms, just flip flop them. Like I felt so much better today just like moving a few things around. So I know you guys have been feeling a little bad today, so maybe that'll help. Ashley, do you want me to help you move some stuff around? Please tell me how anyone can live in that. I don't know. I know none of us could. We'd be like, what is going on? What is happening? That's just too, like, I'm blind in one eye. So don't ever put me in a house like that. That would be like a bad game for me. I don't know where these actually anymore. Try not to give myself a headache with those glasses. So I wanted to show you the next thing here was this one here. So this is just going to kind of go over, this was put out this morning, 7 hours ago. So it was put out this morning. It was before, I haven't refreshed the page though. It was before Rex Heuermann showed up in court, and they're just going to kind of go over what's going on and what could have happened at the possible like court date today. Like you can even see, like, looks like Brittany's still alive over here. So let me refresh the page.
The Gilgo.
Oh, and speaking of which, I'm sorry to make a side note. I just noticed his picture on the side. Did y'all know Pee Wee Herman died yesterday? Put it on my community tab. I liked Pee Wee when I was a kid, so I just saw it on like the little thing beside the Rex Heuermann thing. So I figured I'd tell you guys if you didn't know. But yeah, when I was a kid, I was like all about him. Like I said, so like I said, they're just going to talk about the conference, scheduling conference, or the hearing that was today, the discovery hearing. And I'm wondering, I wish that they're not going to give us any like of the documents really right now, but I wish that they had a site dedicated to doing that like Idaho does. It would make everybody's job a little bit easier online. They want to get the documents.
Beach murders. Suspect Rex Heuermann set to appear in court today.
Oh,
here's former NYPD Commissioner John Miller speaking to CNN about the suspicious details surrounding Heuermann's home.
We've seen serial killers who have created operating environments in their home because it offers control and privacy. In this case, they don't know this, but why they suspect this is a strong possibility is two core reasons. Number one, tracking the victim's cell phones. They have the 4 cases he's a suspect in, he's charged in 3. But in 3 of those 4 cases, their cell phones seem to track from where they started out right to the Massapequa Park area of his home, and then they go dark. The other thing is, in all 4 of those cases, those were times when his wife and children were out of town, away from the house. Why do something in your own house where you're going to be creating evidence? Because it's the one place you've got plenty of time to clean up that evidence. It's the place where what they call the murder kit, the things you're going to need to tie somebody up or do the rest of the things that are alleged in this case, are readily available to you. It's where a victim screaming, unlike a hotel room at 1:30 in the morning where people are going to hear that, can be muffled. And it's a place where, more important than all of that, you as the killer feel you are in control of the environment and the victim is not. So do they have a piece of physical evidence that ties any of these victims to his home yet? The answer is no, but they've removed a lot of things that they're going to be testing to see if they can tie either the victim's presence there or evidence of the victim at that location. We have seen in the history of serial killer cases an innate ability to compartmentalize their normal lives, family lives, job lives, and then they're usually extraordinarily complex lives where they operate in a hidden identity, doing these things in a way to avoid detection. This case is like a lot of those.
Will we see more charges announced today? Maybe. Who knows? Right now, I want to take you to Suffolk County, New York, where we find Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson standing by live outside of the courthouse where all the action is going to be happening this afternoon. Matt, good to see you again this morning. Give us kind of a preview of what we can expect to happen when Rex Heuermann is brought back into court today.
Julie, good morning to you. And that's the big question, right? With all of these charges pending, this investigation still open, will there be more charges announced today? Will we also see his wife, who has recently filed for divorce, and other family members present here at this courthouse here behind me? What we do know is that this is one of the largest true crime cases in the country, if not internationally. Take a look at some of our cameras that are around here right now. This is growing.
Okay, here's another outfit. This is one of her other outfits. Like, look at her. She has got to be hot. Her cheeks are so red. Look how red. She's got to be so hot. With all those clothes on, I don't know. Man. I don't know what's up with the book bag. Why do people put the book bag in the front? Do they think people are not going to steal it if it's in the front? Because they will. They'll just take you with it, but I think she's trying to guard something in there. I was wondering what his wife was holding, but I don't know. And that's his son. I didn't show you a picture of him earlier. Wonder how tall he is. He looks tall too.
Take a look at some of our cameras that are around here right now. This is growing in size of the media presence as Justin, our photojournalist, is panning around the front of the courthouse. This is both local and national news. There is no escaping this story here. It is on every channel, and this is why. Just take a look. And this is 5 hours away from this hearing when suspected Long Island serial killer Rex Heuermann will be in court. This is the first court appearance since he pleaded not guilty to the charges last month. Take a look. We were at his home yesterday where there is less of a police presence, but there is still a mood of tenseness in the air there. And this is over at Massapequa home, where investigators dug into the backyard. They lifted the decking in the back of the home. They went inside of his basement and they removed several items, including what we know is a life-size doll and also more than 200 guns from behind a locked door. And we can also tell you again, he faces 3 charges. First-degree murder and also 3 charges, second-degree murder. But again, with this investigation wrapping up at the house, we don't have any idea of all the other evidence that was collected and those other charges still pending. Remember that there was 11 victims total that were found in that Gilgo Beach area. Our cameras were also there yesterday. Everyone telling us that they are still in shock. They thought that this was a case that was actually going to go unsolved, Julie. Back out here live in front of the Suffolk County Courthouse, we're panning in. Justin, you can see the doors have opened here, but there was a long line of people waiting to get inside. It is going to be first come, first served seating in 5 hours from now. People are already lining up, waiting to get a seat and hoping to see 6'4" Heuerman in that courtroom. How will he be behaving? How will he be acting? Will he say anything? Because we know.
Did he say 6'4"? Is that what he just said? He said his height. Man, he pushing 6'5". Was that on like he tall? Let me see if I can go back just a little bit. It said his height.
Get a seat and hoping to see 6'4" Heuerman in that
6'4".
courtroom. How will he be behaving? How will he be acting? Will he say
Looks
anything?
taller.
Because we know, again, that he's on suicide watch after his arrest. He was in tears. Out in front of our cameras here, it's also set up with the media with these microphones in place just in case there's a big announcement, which we'll bring to you. And there is impromptu interviews, Julie.
Certainly, Matt. You know, speaking of the interviews, members of the community have to be just so sickened and stunned with these allegations. What is the sentiment now after they've had a little bit of time to digest it? And of course, everything kind of comes back to the surface on a day like today where the accused is coming back in court and all of the world of true crime is abuzz about it.
Yeah, the response is they feel for the family members that say that they didn't know anything. They wonder.
Y'all, I just looked up the average height of the American male. Anybody want to take a guess? Like, it ain't as tall as y'all thought. Not me anyway. I guess the average American male is 5'9". 5'9". So he that's probably why he looks so big. I mean, because he is super tall, but 6'4". I mean, all those other officers are probably under like 6 foot or under, and that's why he just looks so much bigger. And I think it's his wideness too, and he has like a bigger head, you know? Yeah, 5'9". Can you believe that? My dad was 5'10". I didn't know that. Vincent's 5'9". Hey, Nookie. You're going to guess that first. I know I should have given you guys another minute to guess, but I was like, I could have. Vincent's 5'9". He's 5'8", actually, I'd say. He's like right at my height. We don't wear heels around here. But I really can't wear heels anyway anymore since the rods went in my legs, so they're not very comfortable. So it all works out over here on the front with me and Vincent. But yeah, he's my shorty. But I guess he's average. He's average height.
Wonder how someone, a monster like this, if he is actually the culprit here, could be living in plain sight. And they wonder if there's going to be more charges today.
Matt Johnson, thank you so much for that update. We'll look forward to your reporting throughout the day here on Court TV Live. Matt Johnson in Suffolk County, again, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And because our cameras aren't allowed in, we will all be waiting with bated breath to hear what Matt tells us after he comes out of that hearing. Right now, I want to welcome a very special guest on the program. She is a renowned psychotherapist. She's an author. She also hosts the podcast Talking Live and Bite Size. We're so pleased to have Dr. Robbie Ludwig with us this morning. Good morning, Dr. Robbie. Oh,
good morning.
Gosh, I wish we could talk about something more pleasant than serial killers. But you know, who better than you to consult when we're looking at this case and have so many questions about this guy, Rex Heuermann. He's cloaked in the presumption of innocence, we know, but the allegations are as bad as they come in criminal court. Tell me, Dr. Robbie, if you were given the task of evaluating him, what would you be asking him and why, please?
I might be asking him about the excitement component about his behavior. this would be assuming that he would be admitting to the crimes that he did, because I think that's what's being missed. And this is what happens with a lot of serial killers. Clearly, there's antisocial personality disorder, which we often refer to in the news as psychopathy or sociopathy. And there is a sexual paraphilia, which I find also is closely connected to many of these serial killings, that there's a sexual component and there's an excitement about creating fear, or they're operating in sync with the fantasy that they have, which is why they have these signatures so closely affiliated with many of their killings.
I'm so glad you said that, Dr. Rob, because that was one of the most revolting details that came out of this when we got to see his Google searches on his computer. And the things that he searched for dealt with children and sickening, abusive images of children and also women. And so, you know, of course, our minds go, oh, okay, is this person also someone who likes little kids? Or is that a component that's kind of goes along with the behavior of a serial killer? Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, if you look deeply into their psyche, it's a lot about how their sexual fantasy is integrated with the murders. So there are certain things that are sexually orgasmic to them or exciting, and they try to recreate that in real life. And there lies the problem. It's one thing to have a sexual fantasy. It's one thing to, you know, kind of enjoy, let's say, a colorful sexual life, but they cross the line. So it's this very...
Can you imagine being on the receiving end of that selfie? Just imagine that.
primal rage that comes through. And then there's an addictive compulsion about it. So once they engage in this kind of killing, they might go quiet for a while, but then they need their next hit. And then it becomes more frequent. And the fact that there was dismemberment that was a part of this killing, I think all goes to the fantasies that were floating around in his mind. And of course there's a rage, and of course there's an entitlement, but there's a real pathology and addictedness. And I think what's also interesting is what your reporter described was, Rex crying and feeling sad and on suicide watch. So the interesting thing about these types of personalities, although they have no empathy and they don't feel on behalf of others, they do feel sorry for themselves.
Oh, that's interesting. So the tears aren't for all those victims. The tears are just for them.
himself. Oh, God. No.
Wow.
No. It's not for any of the victims.
Yeah.
That was just him.
Yeah.
He feels sorry for himself that he got caught, that he may have to pay for these crimes. And that was something he was never really prepared for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really stunning, Dr. Robbie. And I think his family was certainly not prepared for this either. By all accounts, they're cooperating. They are not suspected to have engaged in any criminal conduct. They're just looking for their privacy. Can you speak to the I know you can, and if you would, please, the kind of trauma that they may be going through, maybe right now, as they're maybe headed back to their house to walk the dog or do the different things. You know, they waved at our cameras yesterday when Matt was there watching them, and they're processing this just as we all are.
Yeah, I think we have to look at the family as Rex's family is also victims. You know, they were not involved in this crime. It's possible they thought he was odd, but I would imagine that they were abused by him as well. That he basically chose a family who was powerless, or he rendered them powerless. So they didn't really have a say about what went on with his life or how he conducted himself even. So here you have this family that is now also paying for their husband/father's crime. And there was an article that was heart-wrenching about the wife talking about, my whole home is being dug up. I don't have a place to sleep. My kids don't feel safe. I have a son who is disabled and he's crying because he can't process what's going on around him. So I think it's also important to, say prayers for his family as well, because they're victims too.
Oh, you're right. And that's a great way to say it, Dr. Robbie. Their lives have literally been turned upside down with this news. So many.
I couldn't imagine being his kids. Like his son having to try to process. I mean, he can't process it. He's not able to mentally wrap his head around something so big. And I feel really, really, really bad for his kids. I already said I'd already done my notes, but I was going to show you guys the I was going to show you the press conferences that came out today. So the first one, they're only like 10 minutes. I think both of them were 10 minutes for the prosecution. He came out and talked, and then so the DA talks, and then Rex Heuermann's attorney comes on and he talks. So we'll play these here, and then there's a couple shorter videos I'll show you guys that came out just a few hours ago.
This is breaking news.
In New York State,
It is a
we
little
have
low.
a very
Sorry.
extensive discovery statute, which we are endeavoring to comply with the work of both the court and defense counsel. This is a 13-year case, so as you saw, we have a great deal of information, evidence, photographs, reports to provide to the defense counsel. We've begun that process. I think it was 8 gigabytes of material, which is a tremendous amount. And that's just the beginning. We're going to continue to do that on a rolling basis. And, this case, the charges in the indictment are just allegations. So this is the first step in the process of proving those allegations. So we look forward to undertaking that process. We've spoken to the victims. The victims are not going to be making any. They've elected not to make any statements at this to the media at this time. They want to maintain their privacy. They are obviously interested in the case, but they're not going to be speaking to the media. So that's about it. So, as you can imagine, it's a very personal, thing for the victims' families. So we're going to support the victims' families. They make the decision as to what they do, where they go, who they speak with. So I would never speak for the attorneys. I'm sorry, the victims' families, other than to say, we're going to support them in whatever it is that they want to do.
Are you aware if they were here today?
There were some victims. There were some victims who were family members of the victims who were here today. I'm not going to discuss that. So there's just certain conditions with regard to the disclosure of materials, and that's something that was worked out between the court, defense counsel, and ourselves, and that's standard procedure. It's under seal. I'm sorry? You're talking about 13 years worth of investigation. So it is, I'm not going to speak for defense counsel, but suffice to say, it is a massive amount of material. And don't forget, it's continuing because the investigation is continuing. So we're talking about a massive amount of material.
Are you getting tips about other victims who may have been found on highways or roadways here where Heuerman may have lived or where he may have frequented? Are you getting new tips that are valuable to you?
We receive tips on, in all cases at all times. We take those serious and we work through them, but we maintain the confidentiality of the investigation up until the time we can bring charges. It was basically what I just elicited, what I just spoke to you all about, which was the discovery schedule and the manner in which we were going to get this massive amount of discovery over to the defense. It has to be done in a way that makes sense for the defense, but also makes sense for us as well. So they can understand what they get, and we're able to catalog and identify, what exactly it is we provided.
Last time you said that you had some case. Last time you said that it was some stories about the DNA for the 4 victims. It's already progress about that.
So the investigation is continuing, but once that investigation is concluded, we'll have more to say. But that investigation is ongoing.
Last week, you said the scores of evidence gathered at the Massapequa Park home would take time to sift through. How much of what was handed over today is from last week's search?
Was placed on the record, specifically what we turned over, which is part of the court record. I don't think anything specifically from the recent searches has been turned over.
There are some reports that Heuerman's soon-to-be ex-wife is upset at the way the house was effectively turned upside down. She might try to bring forward a case. What's your response to that?
She could pursue whatever remedies she feels are necessary.
If things are proceeding as they have been, do you anticipate a trial? You do not anticipate a plea deal?
I don't anticipate anything. I anticipate that we have to show up every day. We have to comply with our discovery requirements, and we'll negotiate the case in good faith with the court and defense counsel and see how it plays out, just like any other case.
What's it like for you as DA leading this case?
I've led many cases. Last one being in 2019. So this is what we do as prosecutors.
Is it imminent that you might go before the grand jury to seek additional charges in this case?
As we've said, we've worked through the grand jury process. That grand jury process is continuing. The good thing about the grand jury process is we can subpoena witnesses and evidence, but it's also secret. So we'll maintain the secrecy of that grand jury until the grand jury has acted.
When is your term up?
We're not going to discuss specific terms with regard to this or any other grand jury.
What happens next on September 27th? What needs to happen between now and then?
So what needs to happen between now and then, we need to continue to comply with the discovery requirements. We're working with the court. We're working with defense counsel. That discovery is going to be going out on a rolling basis. And as was indicated in court, it's a tremendous amount of material. So we're going to continue to provide that. Obviously, the defense is going to need time to digest all of that which we're giving.
Do you anticipate a date for the end of discovery?
It's going to take a while, and we just need to be productive, and that's something that we'll work out with regard to both the court and counsel.
When we spoke at the home, you said nothing jumped out initially from what you took from the home. Has that changed?
So when I say nothing jumps out, I mean, you wait until all the facts are in, and then you draw conclusions from those facts. So we still have to continue to wait for all of that, and not only the cataloging of the evidence, but all of the testing, including forensic testing, to get done, which unfortunately, unlike sometimes on TV, it just doesn't happen overnight.
How long does forensic testing take?
It varies. It depends upon what you're talking about. Is it DNA? Is it some other analysis? Is it mitochondrial DNA? Is it nuclear DNA? So it's very it's dependent upon the facts and circumstances of each individual piece of evidence. So we just have to wait for the process to play out.
At least months,
It's certainly weeks.
Some of the DNA evidence is, well, all of it is over a decade old. How confident are you of the methods the lab is using? Some of it untested, some of it more modern, and being clear.
Extremely confident. It's all been tested. It's all been deemed admissible in courts of law across the United States. So we're confident in our science.
And as far as the victims go, how many families were here to support? Were they here supporting 3 of the victims? How many different families were talking today?
So that's a tough question to answer, because I think there are people who are physically here. I can tell you that we have a great dialogue with all the victims' families, and they're all supporting in one way or the other. So I'm not going to get into specifics with specifically who's here and who's not here. But what I will say is the victims' families are interested and engaged.
Can you give us some idea of the timetable? Are you handing over discovery like once a month? Is that different?
So what we've said is a rolling basis, and what that essentially means is when you're talking about this massive amount of material, we're just basically starting and then culling the material, providing it, and then sort of repeating the process. But there's it's a massive amount of material.
You
Taylor, that's a boy victim, close to filing charges in that case?
The investigation with regard to all of the remaining bodies on Gilgo is continuing.
Is the wife cooperating with the whole process?
We don't speak about anyone who talks to us with regard to our investigations. We maintain the confidentiality of anyone who may or may not be talking to us.
The wife said that her home and her life is in turmoil, specifically after the investigators went to her home. Do you have any comment to her or to that?
Nope.
How many victims had family representatives here? Just the number.
So I'm not gonna speak for the victims. The victims are they'll speak for themselves.
What's their names? Just how many?
I'm not gonna.
More than one.
More than one, but I'm not going to talk specifically about the victims.
Surveillance video from the Waterman case, Megan Waterman. Can you just help explain what that is in reference to?
I mean, I believe some of that video pertains to the motel that Ms. Waterman was staying at shortly before her disappearance.
Could you tell us what will happen on the 27th?
Basically, what happened here it's just a repeat. They'll be, obviously the defense will have the opportunity to provide to go through what we've provided. We're going to be continuing to provide on a rolling basis. So it'll be just the opportunity for us to continue the process with defense counsel, as well as being able to inform the court of our progress and the status of the case.
Did the families make any request of you, or you give any message to them that you can talk about? The families have opted not to speak at this time, and I certainly respect that. And again, we don't dictate to our victims any particular message that they should or shouldn't be giving. So I think that's it. But thanks all for coming, and we'll see you back on the 27th. Thanks.
He talks so low, I had to get my headphones out. Dude, them reporters. Did you have headphones in, Isabel? Because you were like, these reporters. I think it was you that said they were making you mad. I was like, oh my gosh, they're making me mad too. I was like, they won't stop asking we know those answers. Basically, everything I kind of went over in the beginning of the live, I gave you guys like the important notes of what happened today. It's all going to be under seal. The attorney and the defense both decided to leave it all under seal, which I understand because a lot of it is crime scene photos and I don't need to see those. So they could keep that. I just want the paperwork. September 27th is his next hearing, and they said it's going to be like a discovery hearing, like another hearing like today. So the next video I was going to show you is, where'd it go? I found it on Twitter. I couldn't find a video for his attorney online other than on Twitter. So he has like 10 minutes of stuff to say. So we'll listen to see what he has to say for Rex.
He was looking over his shoulder at the gallery.
I'm going to put my headphones back in so I can hear the questions.
Family?
I didn't see him looking over the shoulder. So
Do you know if he's had any contact with his family?
sure, he's had contact with his wife, yes, and family members. I don't think she's visited yet, obviously, because she doesn't want to be ambushed by the press. So she hasn't visited him at the jail yet. No. Do you have any questions about the case? I'm happy to answer. He hasn't. I'm not representing him on that, so I can't really discuss anything about his divorce. He was emotional. Well, now that when I've been meeting with him at the jail, obviously we're talking about substance as opposed to the initial shock. So now it's really gearing up towards the defense of this case. You're going to have to talk to her. I don't know. I haven't spoken to her.
Have you looked at spoken extensively about this case in the public? How do you view that? Do you have concerns about them possibly affecting a possible jury down the road?
Yeah, I'm not trying this case in the press. This case is a case that we're going to try in a courtroom. The press has convicted my client without seeing a shred of evidence. So he doesn't stand a chance with the press. And we're not going to try the case in the press. I doubt that any one of you for a moment have even contemplated the possibility that they have the wrong guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to defend this case in a courtroom. In the courtroom we just were in, where we have 12 fair and impartial jurors, where we have a fair and impartial judge, where words like presumption of innocence and beyond a reasonable doubt, where words like that reign every day. That's where we're going to try this case. So we're not going to try it in the press. We're going to do our due diligence. We're going to defend this case in a court of law.
His face is red. He already arguing the case.
How do you explain?
He red.
All I can say is he's presumed innocent. There have been hundreds, if not thousands, of leads in this case, and we haven't even seen them yet. I know about these leads from you folks who have reported these leads for the last 10 years, 12 years. So the answer is they very well could have the wrong guy.
How do you explain the DNA link to Heuerman's wife, the Google searches, and the cell phone locating data?
Have you seen the DNA yet?
I'm asking how you.
And I'm asking you, have you?
What prosecution says links your client to these?
I haven't seen anything yet. Have you seen anything?
Well, I'm asking how you, as his lawyer, explain what the DA describes as voluminous amounts.
The government is looking to convict my client. I haven't seen anything. So I can't sit here and defend DNA and recovery of evidence and things that they claim they have until I see it. I haven't seen anything. So I'm not going to, at this point in time, I can't tell you what defects, if any, are in any of their evidence because I haven't seen it yet.
What is your
I feel like this is Ann Taylor if she was a man from New York.
client told you?
What has my client told me? He told me he didn't do this. Yeah, well, we're obviously, the district attorney's office has a whole office. They're the biggest law firm in this county. I'm one guy, right?
Sorry.
So Ms. Koich is going to be co-counsel on this. We have other attorneys that I expect, excuse me, are going to be.
Trying to get the sound. Sorry. I was trying to get the sound to come back out of the speakers. Let me plug these in. This guy is on one, so I want to listen to him. He's, man. His attorney is going to have a stroke before the trial.
Is going to be co-counsel on this. We have other attorneys that I expect, excuse me, are going to be assisting on this. And just to pour through the discovery is an enormous task, but we're prepared for it, and we're going to do it. And whether it's a year and a half or 2 years, whenever that day comes, we're going to go in a court of law, and we're looking forward to defending this case. So what I was provided to with today is what, and I'm not computer literate, is 8 terabytes of information. So I was told that a gigabyte is 6,000 pages, and I was told that there's 1,000 gigabytes in a terabyte. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, it's enormous.
You plan on going through some of the evidence before the next court date?
Of course. I plan on going through it as soon as I get back to my office when I'm done talking to you folks.
Do you think you could have a fair trial here in Suffolk County, or are you considering moving it?
Well, that's obviously something we're going to look into in terms of change of venue. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you have the press reporting things to the public. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's skewed. So now you have the people in Suffolk County who are going to be sitting on the jury. We only hope that they will be fair and impartial, that they won't be influenced by the members of the press, and that they can listen to the evidence and decide for themselves if they have the right guy. The discs weren't handed over until we were in the courtroom. But what we were doing is discussing receiving of evidence, how it's going to be transported to our office, and how it's going to be forthcoming in the future. Again, this is a significant case, so it's not like it takes a minute or two. There's a lot involved in receiving discovery. I'll take up anybody's offer to help assist on this case. You'd have to ask the district attorney. I don't know the answer to that.
It's been reported he's been on suicide watch. Is there concern?
There is none. So what happens with suicide watch is the jail customarily, as a matter of course, when they have an inmate coming in, put somebody on suicide watch. So they have a mental evaluation, and there's been no indicia that he has in any way indicated a suicidal tendency. That's just pro forma.
And Rex wants to go to trial. He's not interested in a plea deal of any kind.
There's no plea deal. He said from the moment I met him that I did not do this. So we're prepared to go forward. We will defend this case in a court of law, and we will go to trial in this case.
So he's selling home charges for child sexual.
Let's just say numerous.
So he is selling home charges.
He's feeling hopeful about what, ma'am?
Hopeful that he's going to be proven innocent.
He doesn't have to be proven innocent. The burden on this case is on the district attorney, on the government. They have to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't know what kind of evidence they have. Again, that's the district attorney who has the obligation, and they're the ones who are going to provide us with the discovery. So I don't know what type of evidence they have.
Are you going to present any evidence?
I haven't even seen their evidence, so I can't even tell you what, if anything, we will do. It's too premature. Have you seen that yet? Do you believe everything the government says? I don't. So I understand that the government has told you certain things. I don't believe everything the government says. So I'm going to wait until I get the evidence. I'm going to look at the evidence. We're going to examine the evidence, and we're going to move forward from there. Any other questions? I got to go into two more questions, guys. Ms. Koish is on this matter. Mr. Russo is on this matter, and we have 3 or 4 other attorneys that are now going to start the process of reviewing discovery.
So you believe the government is plotting against your client?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I can tell you from, well, I've been doing this for 30 years. The government makes allegations all the time. Sometimes the allegations are true. Sometimes they're not true. Sometimes when they accuse
30 years. There's no way this man's 50. He had to be older than that. You have to go to law school. How that's like 10 years. I'm like, there's no way he's been a lawyer for 30 years. I need to check his credentials.
somebody of committing a crime, that person is guilty. Sometimes when they accuse somebody of committing a crime, that person is innocent. So I don't know what is to bear. All I can tell you is he needs to get the presumption of innocence. Anybody else? I'm sorry? I haven't seen, I'll repeat it again. I have not seen 1 ounce of evidence on this case. Today in court was the first time I was handed anything, and it's in the form of terabytes. I can't read a terabyte with my hands or my eyes, so we have to download that and start the process. What I'll say is this, down the road, if certain things come to fruition and come to light that I think would warrant a change in his custody status, we will certainly make that application to the judge. Well, at this point, it would be silly for me because we don't have any, I haven't seen anything.
Are you comfortable with the list of evidence provided to you as described today, and why or why not?
I haven't even looked at it.
But as it was described and listed today.
So what was described and listed is I got 5 manila envelopes, and they have a terabyte in them, with 2 terabytes each. I don't, that's all I have.
Do you know, are there thumb drives inside, or are you getting hard copies?
They're big black terabytes. Do you know what I don't know. I think they're hard drives, right? Is that what you call them? Hard drives? So that's what I got. I got 5 hard drives that was handed to me 30 minutes ago. Okay?
And you have them in your briefcase now?
I have them right here.
How involved is
He's got him right beside his blood pressure cuff.
He is an involved, obviously interested party who's going to be a big part of assisting us in the defense of this case. All right, guys, thanks very much.
He got all those terabytes in that bag. Someone should have taken off with his bag. He was a bulldog. If I was arrested in New York, I'd probably want him to be my attorney too, because he's a public defender. He's publicly defending, but his face turned red like that He came up to the podium ready to fight. Like he already knew. Man. Yeah, he must have went straight from high school to law school and then went through the speedy program or something. He needs a blood pressure one. I have one that goes right on your cuff. You just like do one of those numbers. I never use it. I bought it and I never use it. I'm supposed to use it every day. I've used it like twice. It always says my blood pressure's high and I don't like that. So I don't use it because I know it's not high. I think it just needs recalibrated. This case gets my BP up. No joke. No, really. It really does. That guy is going to be entertainment though to watch. I have a feeling. So I know that there's going to be more stuff coming out, too about this, this case. Like we'll get like little tidbits here and there before the September hearing. I'm sure the September hearing, like I said, is for discovery. And then I just had a couple shorter videos I was going to show you guys. It just broke down what they said today because we couldn't see the court hearing. Unfortunately, they don't allow cameras in court in New York, which makes sense. Makes sense. You can't be putting them in, taking them out, putting them in. But I don't understand why they couldn't just put them in, be stationary. I'm sure they do have some sort of stationary camera, but Betty punches kittens for fun. Oh my, I know, isn't he crazy? Rocky Balboa, pipe it down. That's one of my cats named after Rocky Balboa. His name's Rocky. I had a dog named Adrian, so it was only fitting. But yeah, this is just like a short video, 4 minutes, 47 seconds, just going over just what we heard a minute ago. Sorry that the first press conference was so low. I should have looked it up on maybe another site and got it a little bit louder. But they did give him 2 terabytes on a hard drive of evidence that he's going to review. And he said today was the first time that he had been given any evidence in the case, which he just got the case. So makes sense. They just is now getting evidence for it. They're still collecting evidence. The prosecution side said they're still collecting, and they're still going through the stuff that they got at his property. And then they're going to give that to the defense on like a rolling basis. So kind of like as they go through a certain amount, they'll give that to the defense. As they go through a certain amount, then they'll hand that off to the defense. So he said 2 terabytes is a ginormous amount of data to go through. Should we tell him that old Aunt Taylor has 51 terabytes to go through? Now I guess we can see I could feel the velocity. Like I feel the difference. Like the way that he was talking about that evidence, he didn't even know what he had. That defense attorney was like, I just got this today. I don't even know. Is this a floppy disk? What's this thing even on? We haven't had floppy disk in a long time.
From Suffolk County, New York, is our own Court TV crime and justice correspondent, Matt Johnson. Matt, I've been itching to talk to you because I know that you were inside with the alleged serial killer during the hearing. Tell us what happened.
Well, at one point, Judge Ashley, he cocked his head back and
I forgot about that. Letitia Stout, I have to bring it up because he literally stood up. He walked out the door. He was walking towards the door like he was going to leave the courtroom. And then he turned around all dramatic like, and he's like, I can't leave her. You made me laugh. I hope I made you laugh by laughing because that was pretty funny. He's talking about Paul Revere. The British were coming. Oh, man. I hope we have another defense attorney like that soon because that was entertaining. That opening was entertaining.
Glanced right at the media that was seated in the front couple rows, including myself, and he gave us all a glance. And then he looked back at his attorneys and he walked out. He looked disheveled today. He towered over any law enforcement that surrounded the walls of that tiny courtroom. He walked in, his arms were crossed, he had handcuffs on, He had no tie, a blue shirt, and khaki pants. And he didn't say much. He whispered to his attorney, that attorney that you just heard from there, Mr. Brown, a couple times during the hearing. This hearing was pretty standard. It was about discovery, the state turning over on the record all of the discovery in this case, which included all of those terabytes that this attorney, this defense attorney, says he will start going over right now, immediately. He tells us that Rex Heuermann has been very active in his own defense and to this day still maintains the fact that he is innocent. And even though his status hasn't changed, no bond and still on a suicide watch at the county jail connected to this courthouse that I'm standing in front of, he says that his client is not suicidal. Judge Ashley?
All right, so let's talk a little more about inside the courtroom because, you know, we all have read that Rex Heuermann was married with children who lived in the home with him. Did any of those individuals show up today or anyone show up to support him in court?
And we have met those children and also his wife, estranged wife, that 1 week after these murder charges were filed, she filed for divorce. She's waved to our cameras, she has spoken to the media, and she's broken her silence by way of her attorney. Take a listen.
She had no idea any of this was going on, or the allegations were even her husband was a suspect. She's not a suspect. She has not been questioned by the police regarding any of this. It's been extremely overwhelming for her and the children trying to piece life back together with what it was 2.5 weeks ago. I don't know if they're ever going to return to normalcy, but day by day, she's getting better. She needs to show her strength so her children have something to focus on, a strong focal point of their mom being in charge and everything. And she's getting better each day. It's been extremely overwhelming for her and her two children. As you can imagine, it attracts, for lack of a better word, fans from all across the spectrum just to get a glimpse of what's going on at the house, what's going on with her, the children. It's been chaotic.
Asa Ellerup is her name. Again, estranged wife of the suspected Long Island serial killer. She says that she had no idea. She said that police, after the 2 weeks long investigation into her home, left the place a mess. She's worried about her neighbors, and she released a statement about that to leave them alone as well. She's currently living in the home, and she was not near the courthouse today.
Matt, look at all those cars outside of that home. We know they had a search warrant they executed, but I'm sure people are wondering what's been going on inside that home. Speaking of the neighborhood, tell us more about the community and what that community is saying.
Right. In that community, it's a tight-knit community. It's a sleeper town, a village of sorts here in the Long Island area. A lot of retirees, a lot of multi-generational households, a lot of police officers and school teachers. Everybody knew about this case long before their neighbor was charged. They are still in shock right now. And actually, you know, a lot of people still visit the home just to see for themselves as they're in disbelief. Take a listen.
I just question whether the family had a suspicion of it. Just I know that it's different because, you know, the wife and the kids grew to love him. They were in their lives for the longest time, obviously, but I just question being so close. Do you see those things? Do you catch on? Because that's scary. If you don't catch on to those things being so close, it's that could happen to anyone.
Rex Heuermann facing charges in the deaths of 3 women of the 11 that were found in that Gilgo Beach area, and pending charges right now with a 4th woman who was found dead and her remains. No additional charges were filed today.
A word of warning. This
I'm muted. It said on the title, for the next one, it says, pizza crust leads to arrest of suspected serial killer. Can you believe that? Pizza crust. Like I said earlier in the live, he was literally just walking out of his office for the day. And those cops came out of nowhere. They were definitely watching him. I have another real short video I was going to show you guys. It just came out on Court TV, and then we'll talk for a minute, and then we'll probably end the live. And then I'll let you know what we're going to do maybe for tomorrow's live. But yeah, this just says, who is the accused Long Island serial killer? I don't think I got to listen to this one while I was at the store, but maybe I did.
To announce the indictment of defendant Rex Andrew Heuermann, 59 years of age. He's been arrested by the Suffolk County Police Department's homicide detectives, and he's been indicted for the murders of Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello.
On July 13, 2023, architect Rex Heuermann was arrested in connection with 3 of the Gilgo Beach murders and remains a prime suspect in the killing of Maureen Brainard Barnes. For more than a decade, the bodies unearthed on Gilgo Beach in New York terrified residents. 9 women, a man, and a toddler were discovered, and police believe Heuermann is connected to 4.
Rex Heuermann is a demon that walks among us, a predator that ruined families.
During a training exercise on December 11, 2010, the remains of Melissa Bartholomew were discovered. 2 days later, the remains of Maureen, Megan, and Amber were all found. All 4 victims were petite females believed to be sex workers, missing clothes, and bound in a similar fashion. They were killed by homicide. Before their disappearance, they had been contacted by a person using a burner phone.
For each of the murders, he got an individual burner phone, and he used that to communicate with the victims. Then shortly after the death of the victims, he then would get rid of the burner phone.
According to the phone records, investigators believed the serial killer lived in Massapequa Park and worked in Midtown Manhattan near Penn Station. They discovered Heuermann had access to several burner phones, and the calls were made inside what police called the box.
So I'm curious, did he still, I'm assuming he still had the cell phones? Like, why didn't he dispose of these cell phones? Was that his trophy to keep? Each phone, each victim? Because apparently he didn't get rid of them, and I thought he got rid of the phones. I would assume that he got rid of them. I took it as he had a victim, he got a phone for her after the victim was dead. I thought he threw the phone out. I thought that's what it said in the PCA, but we read that night, that one day, and maybe I read it wrong, but wow, you know? That's crazy.
Their suspect would also make sadistic calls near his office to the victims' families, with one particular call asking Bartholomew's teenage sister, quote, "Do you think you'll ever speak to her again?"
Good God.
They had these phone records from day one. As you mentioned, they had the description of the guy, the car. They had all the information they needed.
A key detail in the investigation would be buried for years, as a police chief was arrested for obstruction of justice. But in March of 2022, weeks after a new task force formed, an investigator found a witness description of a man matching Heuermann's characteristics at Amber Costello's home.
That individual was identified as a person who was between 6'4" and 6'6". A large man. Also of significance was the fact that he was driving a dark-colored black first-generation Chevrolet Avalanche.
Investigators would later find Heuermann's Chevy Avalanche in South Carolina.
One of the things that we did is we followed him because we wanted to get an abandonment sample of his DNA.
Investigators collected Heuermann's DNA from a discarded pizza crust and linked him to a hair found on a burlap covering Megan Waterman's remains. The investigation continues with the search of Heuermann's home and the possibility of other murder charges. He claims he is innocent and has an attorney who says he did not commit these murders.
In terms of speaking to my client, the only thing I can tell you that he did say as he was in tears was, "I didn't do this."
Well, he said, "I didn't do this." Wonder when his lawyer is going to realize he did this. Maybe he already realizes it right now. Maybe he's back at his office looking at those floppy disks he said he had. I think he called him a floppy disk. So what? Yeah. So someone said that he wasn't the father. He wasn't. But they've been together for 27 years. That's weird. Doesn't make sense. The daughter's 25 or 26. The son is not very old. He would have to be the biological father of one. I don't know how old the son is. Oh, okay. Thanks, Brooklyn. I will. I'll pass it on to Nancy. Erican's got that ass. Yeah. And can you imagine? I mean, I just 13 years later, you don't do a cooling off period that long. 13 years. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know where they're at, but there's got to be more victims out there. I think that there's more. I think that whoever did the ones on Long Island Beach, on the Gilgo Beach, I think they're all related. All of those, I think they're all related, even though one is a male, one of them is a baby. I think that they are, because the man was found in female clothing, and we thought the man could have been dressing could be transgender, and that's what it looks like it was. I mean, Rex or whoever the alleged, person that did this, they might not have known that he was a female until after even he was dead, maybe. I don't know how far he got with the victims. I don't know if there was any sexual activity or not. So. Your daughter's 26, Cheryl? Oh. Yeah, so she's as young as, yeah, that's what I think Rex's daughter's 26. I couldn't imagine. Shit. But at 26, I'd already lost my dad. But if at 22, whatever, no. Oh, my Lord. Could you imagine having all those people outside of your home? And they don't look like the type of people that are extroverted to begin with. They look extremely introverted. And then to have all of those people at your door like that. Oh, my Lord. I couldn't imagine. The baby's mom was Peaches. Yeah, she was a victim also. Yeah. Peaches is the one that had the tattoo of the peach. Okay, yeah. Thank you, PJ. I was wondering exactly who the baby belonged to. So let me write that down. Thank you. Because someone was telling me that they weren't in the same spot. And I was like, oh, wow. Let me actually write it on here. Baby belonged. That's so sad. So what I'm thinking is Peaches went out that night. She probably said, she probably had a John or Rex or whoever, and something along the lines of, hey, I can go out with you for an hour and do the whatever. And, but I got to bring my child with me because, I don't have a babysitter. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it was like a situation that he didn't mean to put himself into to get a girl with a baby, but that's just kind of how it went. And then, or maybe she showed up with the kid, you know what I mean? Like she just got in the car and was like, oh, got my kid. And I think that maybe, yeah. I think that it's him though, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you don't just start killing at 46 either. You're right, Isabel. You don't, that's very old in life to start committing crimes like this, I feel like. Unless it was like a midlife crisis deal. I don't even know. Yeah. There's do I have my banner still on here? Or no, I couldn't put them on there last night. I was gonna say I might have a thing of the victims, but I don't think I do. One here. I don't. But yeah, these are the four girls here. The one in the lower right hand, he's suspected in her murder, but he's not been he hasn't been charged with it yet. But he's the prime suspect. His wife's hair and DNA was found on each of the victims and their ligatures. So I don't know how that happens. His wife be shedding, I guess. I don't know if I showed that picture of her up. I do. And she's got red hair. So you'll be able to tell. I mean, they'll be able to tell. They already did, I guess. So tomorrow, I don't know what we're going to do on our live. We're just going to see what happens. Maybe we'll do, I was going to do an Idaho stream. I don't know if maybe we'll do it tomorrow. I want to do like Brian Kohlberger's movements the night of the homicides. And I wanted to show you, there's like a video I was going to show you. And then it's like an older video that I found. And then we'll go from there. Maybe we'll like open panel or something, do something like that. Let me close out all my windows. But I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. But that was a good live. Got a lot accomplished. We got all the way up to today. So we are all caught up with Long Island or Gilgo Beach. I need to get like in I need to start saying Gilgo Beach maybe, because that's what a lot of people are calling it. But I'm just used to saying Long Island serial killer, which is what I'm used to saying. Because when the first case, the case first started, that's what everyone was calling it. Oh, look at this. Let me see. I guess his wife has a GoFundMe page. And when did this start? 29 minutes ago. Okay. If you guys want to watch more stuff about this, you can go over to Court TV. They're live right now, and they're going over the inside of his house. But I don't see that part. I just see that they're showing his wife. Look at, yeah, you can see his wife there. I couldn't imagine. I'm glad that she, I mean, I'd be like, you ain't getting no money. That's my money. Like, I mean, I feel bad for her boy and her daughter, but especially her boy. Like, he don't understand what's going on. It's just so sad. That's really sad. I feel bad for his kids. I feel bad for all the victims' families. Like Melissa Barthelme's sister. Who calls someone's sister and knows she's dead and says, do you think you'll ever talk to your sister again? That's like beyond, I can't even put my head around that. I can't put my head around that kind of like thinking. So, but thank God I can't. But I will see you guys all in the next live. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. Well, it is Tuesday. Huh? Just kidding. Hope you guys have a great Wednesday. And you already had a great Tuesday because, you know, Tuesday's almost over. But hope you have a good evening. Tomorrow I'll be on about 8:15, same time. I'm going to try to keep them at the same time. So I was trying to like see when my time was, like a good time. We're going to do 8:15. So that'll be the new Eastern Standard Time. That'll be the new time for us to kind of come on live. So tomorrow I get my Botox done. I'll probably come home, take a nap because that stuff makes me exhausted and gives me a headache. I don't know why I was supposed to get rid of headaches. It gives me one when I first get it. So I'll be on tomorrow night to see you guys and spend some time with you. Ashley, let us know how Shaggy is doing. I'm praying for him and I'm praying for you and in Boothang. And you guys have a wonderful evening. Good night, guys. Bye.